to Discover Ramona, where we explore the people, places, and businesses that make it one of the best places to live. I'm your host, Valerie, and I'm here with my co-host today, Jan Ryan. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Valerie. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How's things been? How's the market looking?
Well, that's what I'm here. I wanted to bring up today because that's super important. Whenever you're marketing properties, you need to know what's going on in the market to use the right strategy, because the right strategy in a different market cannot be the best strategy.
This is a different market. What kind of a different market is it?
Well, I did a close search, and in 2010, if you were to buy the average price home, single family in Ramona, you would have paid around $330. And if you were to sell it in 2022, you would have made 2.5 times. You would have sold it for around $838,000, which is amazing. Yeah. What I did check, though, because everybody's asking what's going on with the market. So in 2023, so far, year to date, that's through September, prices have come down slightly from 838 to 832 average. Days on market has gone up, and then inventory's gone up. So I'm keeping a really close watch on it because it could change by the end of the year. End of summer in Ramona, we see a slowdown, usually the heat or school getting ready, things like that. So I'm really anxious to see what's going to happen the rest of the year.
So do you think it's an indicator of a changing market?
I'm watching it. It's happened a couple of times before, a couple blips, and then it's picked up again, but it definitely needs a close watch. One of the most interesting things I found back in 2010 through 2015, you could expect your home to be on the market 90 days or 3 months was the average. And in 2021, it went down to 18 days. But it's gone up to about a month again. So I'm really curious to see the trends so we can get our strategies down.
Yeah.
And then one more thing, it's a great time. Each market has a different strategy. So if you've been looking out of state or in other areas and you haven't been able to find anything, it's a good time to maybe take another look, because you can maximize your price here and maybe get a great buy there. So there's different strategies.
I like that. Okay, Jan, so that's the market update, and today you've brought a special guest. Who is it, and what is their business?
Well, I'm super excited. It's Crystal Hoffman. I've heard about her. She's almost a legend in Ramona already, and I'm so glad to finally meet her and bring her and show her off to the rest of Ramona, because she is such an inspiration.
And what does she do?
She's a flight instructor.
Okay.
And mother of 5.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay, I want to meet this flight instructor, especially a mother of 5. Let's meet her. Crystal Hoffman, welcome to the show. It's so nice to meet you. Jan told us a lot about you, but I would like to hear a little bit more about your business, what you do for the community of Ramona and your family a little bit. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for the warm welcome. I'm Crystal. I am a flight instructor at Ramona. I got started in my training journey. Actually, it was an open house in Ramona in 2019, and my 5 kids went on a discovery flight. The pilot that was flying my son at the time said, "Gosh, you have a really large family. You should become a pilot. You could fly them around." I'm like, I'm a mom with 5 kids. How am I going to have time for that? And then my son looks at me and says, "Mommy, you should teach me how to fly." And I thought, I could do that. I guess I could do that. So I went to the only resource that I knew at the time, which was Google, and I typed in how to become a pilot and followed the steps, the 3 things that I needed to do, interviewed a flight instructor, and started training. So I got my private pilot's license in 2021, and up through today, I'm a corporate pilot and flight instructor at the Ramona Flight Training Center.
Yeah.
I have 6 students at the moment, and it's been the most fun journey I have ever been on.
Did you ever see yourself doing this, or did you have other plans and
Never.
just kind of shifted?
Never. I am not one that watched Top Gun as a 5-year-old and said, I want to be that person. I want to fly. I dream of being in an airplane. Not at all.
So your son kind of stimulated this, and has it come into a passion? You could say it's a passion?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once you experience flight, there's nothing like it. Jan knows.
I find it so impressive that you did it because it is intimidating, and when you have 5 kids, you can have every excuse in the world. So to me, it is so inspiring that you kept going and just took to it like that, because it's not easy. It takes a lot of time and effort.
It does take a lot of time. So I homeschool my 5 children, and when they were, my 2 younger kids were very small, you know, I'd lay them down and I'd have a neighbor or my older kids, you know, okay, you guys are on fire watch. The little kids are sleeping. Mommy's going to go to the airport and do a flight lesson for 2 hours. I'll be back. And that took about a year. I got my private pilot's license.
Because you have to put everything out of your mind. You cannot.
That's right.
You have to focus.
Yeah, you really do. You really do.
It does seem like intimidating a little bit to think, because it feels like it would be such a long process to be able to get your pilot's license. Was it a long process, or is it easier than people think?
I think it depends on the person and the drive and the passion. So just like anything else, driving a car, it's muscle memory, right? So the more you do it, the more you're going to retain that. And the longer distances you go between lessons or flying, you lose some of it. It's expensive to learn to fly.
Yeah, and it's a focus.
It is
it's
a focus.
Total focus.
And so I didn't want to waste any of that. So I tried to do it as much as I could. And I did have some pitfalls through my training. My dad passed away right before my solo, and we had some family stuff to take care of, but I wanted it bad enough, so that's what I did.
That's amazing. And I know I've said this before, but to me it's so inspiring to people. If you have a dream, something you want to do, you can do it. I mean, Crystal did it with 5 kids, so don't give up on your dream. Just
Absolutely.
No, I agree too, and I think a lot of people let their passions and their dreams go because they're like, oh, I got 5 kids, I have responsibilities, I have to do this and that, and make excuses for it. But you just saw, hey, you found a way, right?
I did find a way. Found a way to pay for it, found a way to find the time to make it happen. And when I got my private pilot's license, I went bananas. I'm like, I want to fly here and I want to fly here, and I can't wait to go, fly and visit family in other parts of the country. And which really helps, as you know, in obtaining those next ratings and licenses. So
So the more airtime, I guess, what do they call it? Is that how they call it? More airtime you get?
Flight time. Yes.
Flight time you get, the more licenses and certifications.
Yeah, so for some ratings and some license requirements, you're required a certain amount of flight time. And so I just started flying for fun. I just want to fly all over the place.
Oh, I don't blame you. That does sound like fun.
And I love that you're training other people. So 6 students, that's quite a...
It is. I have 2 that are coming up on check rides.
You do? Okay. On their private?
On their private, yep.
Wow.
2 that are coming up on their private pilot.
And you've turned this into somewhat of a business where you are a private pilot as well. Like you fly people around, they pay you to do that.
Yeah, so corporate pilot. Yep, I'm a corporate pilot and a flight instructor.
Okay.
So what's great about that is I get to make my own schedule. So around family activities, because 5 kids come the music lessons and the softball practice and church and all that kind of stuff. So I'm able to say, hey, that works for me, or that doesn't work. It conflicts with a birthday, which comes up very often in a family of 7.
Yeah, at least once a month almost.
Yeah.
And then my question is, for those that are maybe have thought about flying, I know quite a few people say, hey, that would be fun, I'm thinking about it. Any advice? How much time and commitment?
Do it. If you want to, you're going to find a way. Do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they can call you, get more information.
Absolutely. Yeah, call me. There's a lot of scholarships available. If you're a female pilot, there's a lot of scholarships available. There's some really great organizations throughout the nation, really. There's a lot of San Diego based as well. And we are so lucky in San Diego to have many airports. Everybody thinks San Diego, we think Lindbergh International, but there's so many airports in San Diego County.
I was just going to ask you that. Why the Ramona Flight School versus like the other ones that are in San Diego?
It totally depends. There's flight schools at Gillespie, there's flight schools at Montgomery, there's flight schools in Fallbrook and French Valley, all over the place.
Yeah.
Why Ramona for me? Because I live right at the end of the runway. My commute to the airport is about 30 seconds. So
Wow.
for me, it's.
So that really just drives the passion every day. You
It does.
see people
I do,
coming in
yeah.
and taking off, and you're like, man, I got to get out there.
And when we moved to Ramona, you know, we just thought, hey, man, those airplanes look really cool flying overhead. Never thought that I would be
One of them.
flying in one, teaching out of them. So
And the weather's so great in Ramona. We have less fog, so a lot better conditions typically, I think.
I think so too. We
It's-
get the blue skies when everybody else is socked in over there.
Is it like nerve-wracking coming in over the mountains? Because it's kind of mountainous in Ramona. Or is it not scary at all? Is it
No.
where the I don't know, the airport, it's not an airport, what is it called? The flight school is it flat generally, like, or is it surrounded by mountains?
We have we're
It
kind of
doesn't
on a
bother you.
plateau up there in Ramona.
it's a
We're-
pretty
we
big
are-
valley.
We are pretty surrounded
Valley.
though with mountains, but
But does that make
the
it harder?
airport is.
Does it make it harder to fly in and out of?
I
No.
love coming in over Mount Woodson coming in on the 45. I used to love
Okay.
that through right by Mount Woodson, but it was fun.
Yeah,
Didn't
it
get
is.
too close.
It is fun.
Do you think like what you're doing with the flight students and your expression of, you know, this is like a passion as a pilot has kind of like impacted in Ramona in general? Like, have you tried to inspire other people around you to do this too?
Definitely. So I kind of have a little bit of a backstory about that. When I was a student pilot, I had a partial engine failure, my second solo, and made it back to the runway. Everything was fine, but I was absolutely terrified to get back in the airplane, as you could imagine. I didn't meet another student pilot until almost my check ride.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my gosh, is this for me? Can I do this? And I went to Google again, trusty Google, and I said, Student Pilot Support San Diego.
Wow.
And what I found was a group called the 99s, which is a women pilot organization, and it dates back to 1929. It's pretty incredible. I sit on the board of directors for that today, but they helped me push to finish my training. He said, "Do you want to know how to
That's
get?
awesome.
Do you want to know how to get over that fear, Crystal?"
Yeah.
I said, "Please." She said,
Sounds-
"Get back in the airplane. That's how you get over it." I said,
Sounds-
"Okay." But it's something as simple as that. That was the push that I needed to get back in the plane, finish my private, and I have the honor of mentoring a lot of female pilots within San Diego. After I got my private, I was asked by the owner of the Ramona Flight Training Center, "Hey, I have this idea, and we need this home base for independent flight instructors in Ramona. And here's my idea. I want you to be a part of it and help me kind of run this this organization." And I said, "Can I do student pilot meetings, and can I do fun events like hangar movie nights and potluck barbecues and really just engage the aviation community in Ramona?" And he said, "Yes, please, run with it." And we have been so lucky to have such a large, amazing community of aviators in Ramona.
There are a lot.
And
It's
everybody
amazing.
everybody's story is so compelling and different, and it's really neat. It's inspiring.
That is inspiring. That's a great story. I mean, what an impact. And I know you guys were talking off camera that you guys are planning, you fly the plane, but now you guys are planning on jumping out of one together?
Oh yeah, she's gonna go with.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's go skydiving.
Oh my gosh.
You want to
So
go?
someone's going to fly the plane. No, I don't. I'll watch you guys from the ground and cheer you on. That's where my role is there. I know where I belong. Someone's going to fly the plane, so I would love to watch, though, and see how this
Oh,
goes.
that'd be fun. You'll have to come.
Maybe she could be in the plane,
Nope.
Yeah. there
but she
we
just
go.
doesn't have to jump out of the plane.
Right.
I feel like that's a setup. Someone's
That's
tricking
a
me.
setup.
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to get in there, and so he's like, you got to get out.
That's funny.
You know, another cool thing is I was talking to Crystal the first time I wanted to talk to her. She was in Alaska, which was super cool. Flying around. right?
My husband and I celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary, and he's always wanted to go to Alaska. I have a friend that runs a company out there called Fly Denali, who does glacier landings.
Wow.
And so we got to fly the Beaver and land on Mount Denali, which was amazing.
Yeah. And congratulations, with 20 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, who would have
Thank you.
guessed?
So you can fly
So
there, you
young.
fly to Mexico. What other places have you flown?
That's it so far
Uh-huh.
in terms of international.
All over Mexico, though, right? And all
Mostly
over-
Cabo. Yep, mostly Cabo.
Okay, interesting. Jan, is there anything else that you can share about Crystal that we need to know?
Well, I find it amazing, and she's such a pleasure. So
Oh,
if I were
thanks.
going to take some flight instruction, I would definitely call Crystal, but I would make sure you have time because I love the corporate part. I didn't realize you were doing corporate flying, so how cool is that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I love meeting businesswomen like you, mothers, that really just don't use their kids as what I say as an excuse, but
Yeah.
for the reason for their success and their drive. And you said sharing that story about your son, I love that he, just started that passion to get into.
He really lit a fire I had no idea was in there.
How
And
old-
we can do it all
How old
as
is that
moms.
son?
At the time, he was 11,
That's
and
so
now
sweet.
he's 15.
Super
I
good
bet they're so
point.
proud of you.
Yeah, and super good point to use it as an inspiration and not,
Yeah.
Yeah, and not a crutch.
Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
what a great point.
I know. I bet there's so many layers to you. We can't even begin to peel back all the things that you're capable of. But it was really inspiring to meet you, and I'm thankful
you.
for you being on the show.
Thank you.
Jan, thank you for introducing us to her.
Oh, so great to have you, Crystal. Thank
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you for watching Discover Ramona, where we explore the people, places, and businesses that make it the best place to live. We'll see you next time.